Once again, I welcome you on my channel. Today, we are going to discuss a most important chapter of the class 11, the bills of exchange. So, generally, we talk about the bills of exchange. Students think that a bill of exchange is a bill when we go to the market and we purchase something and we get a bill from the shopkeeper. Actually, that is not a bill of exchange, that is only invoice. The bill of exchange is quite different from the invoice when we purchase a goods from the shopkeeper. Actually, students, in the modern time, there are so many transactions taken place on credit basis. It means it is not possible to run business only on the cash basis. So we need to give the facility to the customers of the credit sale. So when a businessman sells the goods on credit basis, first of all, he sells the goods on credit basis. That time, purchaser promised to make the payment on a future date. So first step is the businessman sells the goods on the credit basis. Then purchaser promised to make payment on a future date, maybe after 10 days, maybe after 1 month, and and 2 months, etc. So it means in that case purchaser promised to make the payment after 10 days, maybe after 40 days, maybe after 2 months, 3 months, whatever. So seller just want to make sure that okay, you can make the payment of that amount bill after 10 days, 20 days or 2 months, but I want in writing. Seller want a written undertaking from the customer or purchaser, because in modern time whole world is as a market. Maybe a purchaser and seller comes to different state, maybe comes to the different countries. If in case of we import the goods from the other state, other country, in that case the purchaser and seller belongs to the different countries. So therefore they want all the terms and conditions in writing. So first step, we sell the goods on credit basis. Purchaser promised to make the payment on future date, but seller would like to get a written undertaking from the purchaser. So for that purpose, a seller prepare a document in writing which contains all the terms and conditions of the goods sold as well as all the terms and conditions regarding the payment. Means what should be the amount to be paid on which date, at date and place also. So we just contains all the dates and payments. The seller prepare a document in writing which contains all the terms and conditions regarding sale of goods, which require the payment to be made, date of payment, on which date the date must be fixed, place of payment that must be fixed, as well as amount of to be paid that must be fixed. So seller and purchaser both put signature on that written document. So that document called bills of exchange. Actually, bills of exchange is a document in writing which contains all the terms and conditions of the goods sold as well as payments. So that is called a bills of exchange. There is a definition given according to Indian Negotiable Instrument Act 1881, Section 5. The definition is given: a bill of exchange is an instrument in writing and unconditional order signed by the maker directing to pay a certain sum of money only to or to the order of the certain person or to the bearer of the instrument. So this is the definitions of a bill of exchange given in Indian Negotiable Instrument Act 1881. So if you discuss the conditions and meaning, so you will come to know about the features of a bill of exchange. Let me just discuss it. A bill of exchange is an instrument in writing. It means bill of exchange must be in writing. This is the first feature. It cannot be oral. Second, unconditional order. It means a bill of exchange is an order. It is not a request. It unconditional means in order there should be no condition. Signed by the maker. So it means a bill of exchange must be signed by the maker who prepared the bill, as well as it must be signed by the purchaser or customer also. To pay, directing to pay a certain sum of money, it means the amount of bill must be a fixed one. So what should be the amount that must be mentioned in the bill of exchange? Only to or to the order of the certain person. So to whom it should be paid, the name of person is also mentioned. So generally it is paid to the drawer himself or maybe a third party ordered by him. And it may be for bearer of the instrument. So one who carry the instrument or a bill of exchange, a drawing make a payment to them. So these are the features. So from the definition itself we can derive the features of a bill of exchange. Parties to a bills of exchange. You know, student, the bills of exchange is a document in writing. How many parties of a bill of exchange? Generally, in case of a bills of exchange, there are three parties. The first one is drawer, second is drawee, and third one is payee. So drawer means one who draw the bill, as he writes the bill, so it's called a maker also. So a person one who draws the bill is called a drawer. And he is generally a seller of the goods or a creditor. Generally, who prepared the bill or document in writing for bills of exchange? Creditor or a seller of the goods. So generally, creditor prepares a bills of exchange. Second part is drawee. So drawee is generally a purchaser or a customer, as he accepts the bill drawn by seller, so he is called acceptor. And generally he is a debtor or a customer. So drawee is generally a debtor or a customer. As he accepts the bill, so he is also called acceptor. Payee, a person to whom the payment of a bill is to be made. So to whom the payment of a bill is to be made is called a drawer. So drawer himself may be the payee, or generally in case a third party, maybe if it is ordered by a drawer. So generally drawer himself is a payee, or in case he endorses the bill or maybe he discount the bill, that time payee change. So when the payment of a bill is made to that person or a party is called payee. So these are three parties of a bills of exchange: drawer, drawee, and payee. Specimen of a bill of exchange. How we to prepare a bill of exchange? The bill of exchange is a document in writing which contains all the terms and conditions. So just in this format we can prepare a bill of exchange. Very first, a drawer write the address, and suppose we are writing from Pali, 30th November 2020 is the date of bill. And you know, bill of exchange is an order, unconditional order. So it means we will order to make the payment. 70 days after they pay to me or my order the sum of rupees 1,50,000 only for value received. It means we sold goods to you, you receive the value, against the goods sold we to receive the payment of that bill. So you to make the payment, so we are giving order to purchaser or a customer to make the payment. So it may be draft on a stamped paper, or it bear a stamps according to the government rule. Suppose 1,50,000. So amount contains in both, in figures as well as in words, and this should be same. And here acceptor will also sign it. Accepted, he will put signature. Suppose Varun Kumar Chand Paul Jodhpur. So in this way we have to prepare a bill of exchange. The bill of exchange is signed by both maker, drawer, and acceptor, drawee. So in this way we prepare a bill of exchange. So in case of a bill of exchange, amount of bill is fixed, date of bill is fixed. So at what date we to make the payment of a bill, that is called a due date or date of maturity. So date of maturity or due date means when the duration of a bill comes to an end and bill becomes due. That date is called due date. It means at what date we to make payment, that called due date or date of maturity. Date of grace. So it is a common practice in business that while calculating due date, 3 extra days are added. How many days are we added? 3 extra days we add in the term of a bill or in duration of a bill, and that is called days of grace. We can then take example. Suppose a bill is drawn on November 25 for 3 months. Okay? So what will be the due date after 3 months? After November, December, Jan or Feb. So that will be your Feb 25 plus 3 extra days. So there are period of 3 months. The date of writing the bill is November 25th. So from November 25th, what will be date fall after 3 months? November, December, January, February. In February 25th, we add 3 days. So what will be our due date? February 28th. Suppose this is the year 2019, it will fall on 2020. This way we will calculate the due date. In this case, there are two important points. Suppose due date falls on holiday, then what due date supposed to be? So there are two types of holiday. One is gazetted holiday and second one is emergency holiday. If gazetted holiday is there, in that case due date is supposed to be 1 day earlier. So suppose your due date fall on January 26th. So we know January 26th is a national holiday, it is a gazetted holiday. So due date is supposed to be 1 day earlier. It means in that case, so January 25th will be the due date. In case of an emergency holiday, if emergency holiday is there, suppose on 25th April is due date, and due to the death of a national leader, okay, so due to the death of a national leader, so 25th April, suppose it is declared as an emergency holiday. In that case, a due date is supposed to be 1 day later. 1 day later means 26th April will be your due date. So in that case, 25th April we will calculate as a due date. So we have these 2 points in case of a due date. If due date fall on gazetted holiday, due date is supposed to be 1 day earlier, and due date falls on an emergency holiday, it is supposed to be 1 day later.